losing sleep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Late Night LUTI. This is our first episode, episode 0. This is going to be a little bit longer of a LUTI podcast from what we're normally going to do on a weekly basis, only because we're going to cover a little bit of the rule set and everything of LUTI. I'm joined today by none other than myself, Cryptic Spoon, as the host. I am also joined by Blake, Blacksword D2.
Yo.
Demios, who's also a staff member along with Blake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also joined by Hermes the Nerd from original Galere, which is a new team that we've put into B Division.
Yo.
And our special, very, very special guest today, the dawn of the Splatoon community, the youngest Jesus, Kirito.
Hello, everyone.
So today we're gonna start off with a little bit of a rundown of what LUTI is, because I feel like there's a lot of new people within the community who started to play in LUTI. So we're gonna go through a little bit of a rundown, how you schedule matches, what it is to be in LUTI every week, and then we're gonna go in a little bit more into the metagame discussion. So everyone wants to know, who's new here, what is LUTI? So LUTI is every week you schedule a match. You choose between the two teams that you're playing against each week, and you schedule a match. If you can't schedule a match, we place you at default time to play a match. If one of you guys can't play a match, you reschedule for week 8. You only get one reschedule for the entire season, so make sure you use it wisely and make sure that you always have time available to play. So this year we actually had record-breaking numbers. We had almost 1,200 registered users this LUTI, and we have approximately 158 teams. Blake, you can correct me on that if I'm wrong.
No, that's right.
Yeah, 158 registered teams officially. So that's the largest we've ever had. Well, we only ever had one other season of LUTI, but this is the largest amount of registered users and teams of any tournament right now. So along with Season 2, we've changed a little bit of the rules. So your last season, how the roster change works was that you had roster changes that you could do at any point. That you can only do during week 4. And you can only make a total of 3 roster changes. So we changed that up because we noticed there was a lot of people dropping out midway because they couldn't make roster changes. So now, throughout week 1 to 4, you can make 2 roster changes. You can make them at any point of your time. They are at your discretion. You can actually make a total of 3, but only 2 per week. After week 4, you have only 1 roster change, so you have a total of 3 throughout the entire season, but you can only make 1 from week 4 to 8. For this, you can do it right before the playoffs. You can do it at week 8, week 7, week 6, but you only have 1, so make sure that you use it diligently, to say the least. It's mostly meant for emergency purposes, but if you really want to use it before, go ahead. So LUTI's going to last 8 weeks total. It's going to have 2 weeks of playoffs as well. We split it up a little bit to favor more of what we do with LUTI, where we do a weekly basis for the tournament. Not only that, we've changed a little bit of the DC rules. On our old rule page, we had it where if one team DC'd on the team, you had to replay the match, and the other team wouldn't be able to get a replay. So both teams now get a replay of each team DCs. Is there anything that you guys want to add to the rule set, Blake or Demios, that I might have missed?
I think you pretty much covered it all so far.
Yeah, these are just
Not
like
really.
the standard changes that we've made throughout the season. So yeah, so that's what we have for this season. It's pretty quick. There's not too much of a difference from what we originally had, so that's good to know. Just hold on 1 second. Discord thing's messed up. Oh well. So we'll get right into the podcast then after now that we've got it. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing with LUTI this season and what we're going to be doing in the future seasons of LUTI. Starting with streaming. So broadcasts are going to work a little bit different from last season. Last season, we did it spontaneously whenever we had free time. It wasn't scheduled, so it was hard to get broadcasters and casters in. So now we're making it a little bit more structured. So LUTI is going to run on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll try to do it as often as we can, hopefully with no problems, to say the least. So we're going to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You submit your VODs to us throughout the week. You can stream them. There's not going to be a limit to it. You can do it however you like. But once we get the VODs, we're going to put them and compile them throughout Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to highlight matches for you. We're going to give player bios throughout the stream. We're going to make it so that teams who are on SNA feel like they're like celebrities in a way. That's our goal in the end. So as you can see, we've updated a little bit of the animations. We've made things a little bit more fancy. So you're going to get that from the stream overall this season. As you can see as well, we're going to try and have a pregame show every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just to give you a recap of the beginning of the matches, what to expect from players, teams. And then every Sunday, we're going to have a LUTI podcast where we talk about metagame. We talk about the pro players who are coming up. So all that's coming up for the stream in the future. Now I'm going to kind of toss it over to Blake for a little bit. He's going to tell you a little bit of what we're planning for the website and why we asked all of you to log in with Twitter.
Yeah, so Twitter's been a big thing that's come up, and for those of you who like reading fine print, notice that we actually take a lot of information from the individual Twitter accounts, and while some found that alarming, we're not doing anything scary with it. One of the big things that we're looking to do in the future is to integrate kind of on how the scheduling process works between captains, to make it so that way, instead of doing, you go into Discord, you chat out people, you find out everything, all communication would stay within the site itself. And in order to facilitate that, we were looking to use Twitter. Discord would have been a better option, but as of right now, there isn't enough of an API built around it, so that may be something that we look to in the future, but for right now our sites are set on Twitter. So a big part of getting everyone to sign up for allowing us to do direct messaging is to integrate that function, so that way you can direct message between captains, and that way each captain is able to directly talk to each other right away. There isn't any issue, any delay, nothing gets lost in a big stream of miscellaneous banter that's bound to happen in the Discord chats, and just hopefully make everything much more streamlined, so that way you can get scheduling in place. Which then leads on to the next big feature that we're looking to build into. Scheduling, especially in Season 1, it gets kind of being a hot mess. A lot of teams trip up, especially with time changes, scheduling availability, things of that nature. We want to ease that in as best as possible. And one of those functions that we're looking at right now is using Google Calendar. That allows you to very quickly base everything on your local time zone, and everyone sees that update as it goes in. So for a particular match week, you'll be able to schedule when your availability is, and then other teams will be able to schedule their availability as well. And then it will be able to do meeting matchups between those to find when both teams are available and auto-suggest when matches can be played. So that way, furthermore, team captains just go in, immediately see at the start of each week when each team is available, and is able to quickly and easily schedule those matches without any of the fuss for scheduling. Another big feature that we want to do, and kind of the guiding direction that we're doing with the website, is to make a one-stop shop. Those of you who have had a chance to look at the divisions have noticed that We are featuring Shalonge directly into the division sheet, so that way as things are updated, it'll update the same way as if you were to go to Shalonge directly. But you can also quickly tab between each of the divisions, see where other teams are standing, and get a feel for how the entirety is shaping up a lot faster than it had been with the Google Docs. Another part of that is that we're looking to in the future is to integrate Twitch as well. So whenever the Twitch stream goes live, you don't necessarily have to go to Twitch directly. There will be a feed on the site itself. And I think that's about most of what we have short term, but as things keep building, expect a lot of changes to keep happening to the site. It'll constantly be changing and morphing as we get new things shaping in, as we tend to like to get the information in front of you first and then tweak it to make it all as pretty as possible as we go along.
Great. Thank you. So now that we've gotten the, I guess you could say, the info dump out of the way for any new users, we're going to start going into the divisions. This is where we bring Hermes and Kirito in because they play competitively. They understand the teams. They'll help us out. They'll tell us which teams they think are great. Me too. I mean, me and Blake play for Cute. I know Demi plays for Lamim team. Hermes, like I said before, is on the new team, Original Galère, and Kirito's on OTB. So we're all from kind of different divisions. So I feel like we have a good take on the community as a whole. We can give you some insight on some teams. So we're going to start off right away with S Division. So we've been slowly leaking out content to everyone on Twitter. Good job, Demi, for all our 8 teams. And we finally come down to Chimera, Extermination, Cooldown, Koopa Clan, Speedruns Live, Shoke, Komodo, and Shinka. So how does everyone feel about these top 8 teams?
I mean, I feel like they're definitely there are some people in Squid Force that could make an argument to be up here in the top 8, but showing with everyone showing from SAI, these are definitely 8 of the strongest teams out here, and we have some. We just have a lot of really good competition, some friendly rivalries between teams too. Like you have Cooldown and Koopa Clan, the 2 top French teams. That's going to be a really fun match to watch, and just everyone's really good. And there isn't going to be a bad match played in Forge Division. So
yeah, Forge is definitely hype. For the first week matches, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Kirito.
No, yeah, I was like trying to say that like there's no gonna be like a bad match to watch. Like all these matches are gonna be so good. Like we're gonna try to get every match of this casted because they're gonna be so hype, in my opinion. I don't know.
So the first week matches, we have Chimera versus Shinka, Extermination versus Komodo, Cooldown versus Shoke, and Koopa Clan versus Speedruns Live. To be honest, all these matches are really hype. These are all matches that you'd see in the finals of a tournament. But me personally, my match to watch right now would probably be Chimera versus Shinka. I think Shinka, we seeded in low, but they have a lot of potential to beat a top team like Chimera. It's the reason why we put them in S Division. We think they have a ton of potential. It's just they've fallen short on some occasions, and they've done really well on others. But I feel like Shinka can easily take games off of Chimera. They've shown it before. It's probably my go-to match to watch. How about the rest of you?
Mine is got to be Extermination versus Komodo. I believe that was the final in Supernova Turbo last weekend, and Komodo did 3-0 Extermination. However, Extermination is the reigning SIA champs, so both teams show a lot of skill, a lot of power, and I'm really excited to see that, especially since Komodo's become such a international team, bringing in a lot of Japanese players like Juice and Kraus, and as well as, like, of course, Pixel and Savage and Hitzel. You got a really good team in Komodo, and you got Extermination being the prime German team, I believe. So,
yeah. Definitely. I wouldn't say just prime German team. They were so close to being first place as a seed. Not that it matters so much in S division, but they were really close when we were deciding who we were going to seed. Extermination was like up there. They've won a bunch of tournaments, but we had to pick Chimera over them just because in their overall tournaments from the past, Chimera has tended to get first over them. But I mean, Extermination's been dominating as of late. Yeah. They're almost unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I want to see Extermination, like how they do in this league when they have no time limit, like set by their moms.
I mean, we joke, but they have forfeited 2 tournaments previously, and LUTI's a great way to show off all their skill, especially when you're playing against every single top team. It definitely is a great way to show off who's the best. So now I feel we're going to go into the more interesting lineup to talk about, because everyone kind of knows the 8 top teams, but Squid Force and Rockenberg are definitely the 2 divisions that I'm really excited about, because there's a lot of potential, but they just haven't reached it yet. And in LUTI, they can definitely show off their skill overall. So we're going to switch over to Squid Force over here. So we have 2 divisions. We have 2 brackets for Squid Force. We've seeded in the first division. We have On the Bounce, 2 Moons, Team Infinity, Lameme Team, CO, Got Kraken, Tentacle Difficulties, and Hikara Momento. So this is our first bracket, and then afterwards in the second bracket we have Get Kraken, Second Wind, Cooldown 2, Squids Next Door, Black Belly Blinks, Creme Fraiche, C-, and Inverted. So how do you guys feel about these 2 divisions? We'll start off with the first division of On the Bounce, 2 Moons, Team Infinity, etc.
Yeah, first of all, what I think is that like these two brackets are really balanced in my opinion. Because like there's no really bad team, and there's no like team that's like really above the others. So it's gonna be really balanced in my opinion.
Yeah, you have a lot of teams that have showed a lot of potential through tournaments. You have, looking even at the lower seeds, Inverted and Hikara Memento. Hikara Memento just utterly destroyed C Division last season, and has been doing incredibly well in tournaments. And Inverted also has been doing very well recently. Did they make SAA, or if they didn't, they were very close and
Inverted?
just missed it. Yeah.
Inverted didn't make SAI. They haven't actually played in any tournaments for SAI. They played after SAI, and they started performing extremely well. They're really, really new. It was kind of risky to put them in A, but just from the results that they had previously and how we felt they played against top teams, we decided to place them in. Same with Hikara Momento. Hikara Momento is one of those teams that can dominate in an upper bracket or finish like 32nd place. It seems their consistency sometimes off, but they definitely show that they have what it takes to beat really tough teams. Is there any team in particular that you guys are interested in?
I'm rooting for my homies over at 2 Moons. Locke and Spectre have actually raised me as a sniper when I first started playing competitively, so I have a soft spot for them. As well as Got Kraken, one of my really good friends, Kraka, who's also on the LUTI staff, is one of their players. So I'm really rooting for them on Group A. And then Group B, I can't really pick a favorite, and probably Second Wind and Creme Fraiche are the 2 that really have my eye.
Yeah,
but everyone there is just so good, and it's like hard to pick favorites.
Yeah. We're gonna get to B division. We're gonna get to the second bracket really soon. But what do you think about the first half, Kirito? Who do you think is?
Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how Hikara Memento does, because like someone was saying in the chat, they beat Showcase, which is in S division. They beat them last tournament, so I'm really interested in seeing how they can do versus teams that are actually at their same level.
Yeah, actually, the team that I'm most interested in, it's going to sound weird, but it's Team Infinity. Team Team Infinity is kind of that team that like people don't think about as like a top 8, but then sometimes they make upsets and they always do well against other teams. And I think LUTI's like that perfect place for them to kind of see where they're placed. They did extremely well in B Division by winning the entire thing, so I'm just excited to see where they're going to go from there. Especially since they picked up a couple of players, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how it happens. So we're going to go down to the second half of the bracket. I know that we just heard Hermes' thing about Second Wind.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on Second Wind for a little bit, and I love the guys, and I think they're like one of the strongest teams, especially with Katsui on that roster.
Yeah.
And Citrus.
Shout out to my boy Citrus.
Yeah, everyone
Yes,
loves Citrus. I mean,
Citrus.
great. But yeah, any aspirations for this second division?
Yeah, I think like that this divisions, like the A division is like there's all the teams that like what's the word? That they're not consistent in a certain way. Like all the teams that have the potential like to even beat Division S teams, but sometimes they just get like 30th or something.
Yeah, they either do really well or they kind of go downhill. I mean, C- had an incredible run one time, getting all the way to second place finals, and then another time they drop out midway through a tournament. It's tough to see, but like they definitely have the potential there to go further. Just to take a look at some of the match standings, we're gonna look at some of the matchups. Actually, first matchup is Hikaru Momento versus On the Bounce. That's your team, Kirito.
Yeah, that's my team.
I mean, I don't want to ask you how they're gonna do because I think you're gonna say that you're gonna win, but
Of course.
but how do you think they're gonna do, Hermes?
That's gonna be a tight match. I personally do because On the Bounce is of the teams in A division, I think On the Bounce and Get Kraken are the two with the most consistency, being I believe the only two teams standing. Technical difficulties as well from last season. A division. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just the three of them. Yeah. So these three teams are have already had long histories of proven success. So I do give the edge to On the Bounce, but I'm not going to look the other way if there's a Hikaru Memento upset.
And I know Demios is on LMT, and it looks like they are going to be playing CO, the French team. How do you feel about that, Demi, going into it?
All right, well, I don't think, at least, we've played against CO just yet. So I'm not really sure how we fare against them. But seeing from what they did in Psy, which, I mean, they got pretty good there to at least, like, get into it. I think it's going to be a challenge, but it's probably going to be a close match in the end, just knowing from my team.
All right, and in the second half, we have what is your guys' expectation for that second half? What do you think's the lookout match to watch for?
I really wanna see Get Kraken versus Second Win. How they do. I think that's the decisive match.
Wait,
in
no,
my
Get
opinion.
Kraken. Well, yeah, that's later on, but I mean for the
That's a few
first
weeks,
round
yeah.
matches.
Oh, for the first round? I don't know. Get Kraken versus Inverted looks like really fun to watch.
For me, I feel like SND and the Blinks are that's gonna be a hype match because they are the 4 and 5 seed, but also you have Black Belly Blinks who got second in B division last season.
Yep, that's
right?
correct. It
And
was
SND obviously
Team
has been
Infinity,
proving
Black
themselves.
Belly Blinks, and CQC Squids, who all finished in the top 3 for
Yeah.
qualifying.
Yeah, and then you have S&D who's just been proving themselves left and right. A lot of people seeing them early on as kind of one of the more meme of teams, but now they are such a force to reckon
I mean, they've
with
definitely proven
that-
themselves. They've been changing the roster, slimming
Yeah.
it down. They're definitely becoming more of a strong team that you shouldn't just
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
just look
I
over.
think too many people now think that they're just a joke still, but they're far from it.
So overall, who do you think are going to be the top 4 teams out of this entire Squid Force?
From both groups, you mean?
Yeah, like 2-2.
I don't want to be cocky, but I want to say on the bounce. And I think Infinity from Group A.
Really?
And from the
Wow.
second.
That's
Yeah,
an
I think
interesting
Infinity has
pick.
that potential.
And how about the second group?
From the second group, I think get Kraken in second win.
All right, picking the easy ones. How about you, Hermes?
I'm kind of pulling the same teams. I'm picking Two Moons over Team Infinity in the first group. Again, just because of my bias. I love the guys on the team. And then Group B, second win, get Kraken. I see all the other teams doing very well, but those two teams stand out to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely everyone has their reasons, right? For me personally, I think I would have to choose. OTB has been performing too successfully to not pick them, and I think Two Moons as well. I think all their games that they played have been really well. They haven't really played against S-ranked teams, and when they have, they've lost. But I still think they're incredibly strong and can probably take out anyone in the divisions lower than them. Afterwards, I do think second win will go first. And then it's kind of rough to say, but I might call Inverted on this one. They're the 8th place team. They're kind of unknown, and I think that's kind of to their favor. Like, people don't really know their style yet, and I think that they might surprise a lot of people in that division. What do you does Blake and Demi want to add anything to this conversation?
I mean, my guess, all right, technical difficulties. My boys over there, they're gonna get top of the division, first place playoffs. It's predicted. We're gonna rig the bracket so they get first.
Want to bet? Want to bet? How much you want to bet?
All right. I don't know. I don't know what currency you go for. 100 pesos, or however you pronounce it.
That's fine. That sounds pretty good to me.
All right. I'll see you in 10 weeks.
Yo, I'm gonna invite Kirito back onto this podcast with you, Demi, and the showdown's gonna happen, man. I want to see the transfer
man.
of these
Boy.
pesos live on
Get
stream.
ready.
I think there's a good bet in my book of On the Bounce and Two Moons taking A, but I would also put some good stock into technical difficulties. I think they have a very solid chance of knocking out one of the two if there were to be an upset. I put my money there.
Everyone has so much faith in TD. I'm pretty surprised, guys. Not gonna lie. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just it's interesting. So now we're going to move into what I like to call the most interesting division to talk about, because a lot of it's just speculation because it's such an obscure-ish league, is the Rockenberg League, or B Division. So this might be a little bit longer because we have 4 groups, 32 teams. We'll start with, I'm going to just list them all, and then you can kind of see for yourself. So we have, in the first division, we have Cute, EDPP, Kairos, Flying Krakens, Palm Size Squid, High Tide Era, PowerPoint, New Perspective. The Group B, we have Squid Runs Live, Theta, Nocturnal Squids, Coast to Coast, Dank & Co. We'll fix that after for you there, Dank Determination. Calamari Cuties, German Hawks, and Tentatoon. Group C, we have Altira, Modern Day, Last Hope, ITI2, BNT, which is a French team, Endless Oceans, Koopa Clan 2, and Blooper Inc. And then in Group D, we have Dash Team, Original Galair, Spartan Europe, Inc. Delta, West Coast, Paradox, Xerox, and Squidders. So we're going to start off with the A division. So how does everyone feel about Group A going into this? It's kind of hard to decide a lot of B because there's just so much of like matchups and who won what games. It's not really based entirely on top 8 performances. It's based on like your overall matchups. So how are you guys feeling so far? Just overall about Division A, and then we'll go more specifically into groups. Sorry, Division
Oh,
B.
yeah. Overall, the whole division, there's so much talent coming up from the C division, from last season, as well as a lot of staple talent that stayed in last season and didn't make the cut to move up to Squid Force. So it's honestly, this is going to be a really stacked division. Again, there will be almost no bad games to watch. I can't see any team that I wouldn't enjoy watching or casting over myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Is there any teams that you guys are interested in watching in B division? Anyone who you think is going to rise up to the top? I know you're gonna say Original Galair Hermes, but I mean, like, I'm gonna let you refrain from that and just pick other teams other than yourself.
As long as we don't pick cute, my friend.
Why? We're cute. We're so cute.
Adorable.
So
yeah, no, I personally I have a lot of faith in you guys at Cute. I've played with a few of you guys here and there, and also just have seen you guys play. You guys are one of my favorite teams to watch like just random squads with, because you guys like are absolutely hilarious most of the time.
I would say I would say hilarious is not the word to describe our team, but yeah, we'll go with that. Why not?
Those cooking with cryptic. Oh my god.
I think it's more I'm laughing at you guys and not with you guys.
That's fair. A fair point.
Squid Run's live also. My boy Swiffy and his group. I love them. Theta, I have a bunch of good friends. They're formerly Squidgens. Really good team. Didn't do as well last season in playoffs because of just some inner team turmoil, but I feel like this is their season to rise up and do really well. Altera is a new team from people from a lot of different places. I know Squid Kids and also former Squidgens are on that team, and they're going to be quite a team to watch. And then, Group D, obviously, I would say my own team, but we just got so many teams that are they're like so close to each other. From Dash Team all the way down to Squidders, everyone is neck and neck. It's going to be a really, really tough pool.
Yeah. How about you, there, Kirito? I want to hear the young Jesus himself, his opinions on B division.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you that Cute is gonna win B division in my opinion. Because like I think I'm not gonna be biased, but like Cute is one of those teams that if A division had more slots for teams, would have been there in my opinion. Just that, and yeah, like, all these teams are really balanced. Like I want to see how PowerPoints fares, because like we all know that PowerPoint's roster is really good, but they really haven't had the time to shine, in my opinion.
Yeah, we
They're all really good.
we want to see their skill match up with their PowerPoint presentations and how well that they do with those.
Those qual PowerPoints.
Any
Well, yeah, but Coast to Coast too is like a really good team. I've seen them like beat some A division teams on the bounce, but when Credo wasn't playing, of course. So yeah, I really haven't faced them yet, but I heard from my teammates that they're really good. So yeah, there should be a team to look out.
I just caught on that you said that you mentioned yourself in third person. That the Kirito wasn't there, so that's why they lost. sorry, you're so important.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. But yeah, I think Koopa Clan. I don't know why this seed is so low, but Koopa Clan is really good.
Well, because
Clan 2,
it's
I
Koopa
mean.
Clan 2, and they didn't really have any results before that. It's just been through LUTI. So we had to take
Yeah,
into account a
that's
lot of other things other than just LUTI 1, because time passed so much before that happened.
Yeah, I got you. And yeah, I really want to see how Hermes the original Galore. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but
Nah, it's hard to pronounce. Yeah.
So for those of you who are wondering, just before I go into my picks, there's a couple of teams here that kind of haven't really played almost at all. But we kind of placed them based on roster size and just how we've kind of played against them. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's biased to say it like that, but just roster strength was too strong to kind of overlook. We had Modern Day, who just joined last minute, and it's basically a culmination of two people from Komodo. It has someone, Butter Dan, from Golden Age, as most people know. Butter Dan, the most handsome man in Splatoon.
It's true.
wow, wow, okay.
Other than Kirito, sorry,
I thought
Kirito,
that
you're
was
like
me.
you're like pretty much number one. You're like a supermodel. No one can compare to that. So he's like two just below.
Okay.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
He has Hachiso, Pikmin. You have Okapi, who used to be on our team, me and Blake's team. They're just a really, really strong team. And then afterwards, we have Original Golair, who of course has Hermes, a well-known sniper, at least within the community. Hopefully, the rest of the viewers will know who he is after this B division.
Hermes?
The Hermes, man, legend. And then we
thank you,
have
guys.
a couple of people from New Order on that team, from their S and other team. So they're just really, really, really strong. I personally played against them, and I have to say those games were very close, to say the least.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we want to know it. Who won?
Original Golair won. Shh.
Wow.
Nothing.
It was
Nothing
a close
happened.
match.
But yeah,
let's cut.
Overall, my personal
that
picks for these divisions would be, I don't want to place against myself, so I'm just going to name other teams who I feel like will do really well within each division. I think Kairos is a team to look out for. I think they consistently play in every tournament. They don't always show up with like their A game, let's say, like they don't beat those top teams, but I feel like they do really well in B division. They can show that they're a strong team, and I feel like they'll grow throughout B division. If we're going to go down to Group B, I definitely think Squid Runs Live is a strong bet. I also want to say Nocturnal Squids. We haven't seen much. Well, we've seen a bunch of them, and a lot of people underestimate them. But I feel like throughout the league, they'll do well. They placed really well in C Division last season. They've been doing okay throughout tournaments. So it's definitely my team to look out for in that. In C Division, I got to give it to my boys Modern Day. I just think that they're so good. Also, Altyra is just tearing it up lately. They've been coming under the name Name to Be Determined. I guess a playoff of NSTC.
Who's in Modern Day again?
Modern Day is Butter Dan, the man who's just as handsome as you. We have Hachiso.
Yeah, so half
Pikmin.
Komodo. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
ITI2 recently got some new members. I'm excited to see how they play. I don't know if they'll reach number 1, 2, but they're definitely a team that I'm looking out for. Then on Group D, I mean, I got to give it to Original Galair. Also, I'm really interested in Ink Delta. They had like a really good run, and then they kind of like came down and then came back up, and they're kind of all over the place, and I'd like to see how they place within Group D. So any closing thoughts for everyone?
Get hyped! This is going to be the division of incredible upsets, and everything's going to be weird. You're going to have like the 7th seed being the first in the division or whatnot. It's going to be crazy. No one's going to know what's going to happen. Who knows? There might end up being a 5-way tie for like 3rd place or something.
Any match to look out for within B division? I'll name them off for you guys if you don't have the list in front of you. But Cute versus New Perspective, EDPP PowerPoint, Kairos versus High Tide Era, Flying Kraken versus Palm Size Squids, Squid Runs Live versus Tentatoon, Theta versus German Hawks, Nocturnal Squids versus Calamari, Cuties, Coast to Coast versus Dank & Co., Altyra versus Blooper Inc., Modern Day versus Koopa Clan 2, Last Hope or Team Jimbo, newly reformed Last Hope team versus Endless Oceans,
disband.
ITI2 versus BNT, Then we have Dash Team versus Squitters, Original Goal Air versus Xerox, Spartan Europe versus Paradox, and Ink Delta versus West Coast.
I'm personally interested in the New Perspective Cute matchup just because I can just like the subtle rivalry between old friends.
Yeah, Vera used to be on New Perspective, and now he's on
Kyrie
Cute.
and Delta.
That epic matchup starting off.
That is
going to
be an epic first round match. I'm really excited to see how it goes because I know NP has added some new members and interested to see how they do. That for sure is my pick of the week in within B division.
Me personally, I'm going to have to go with Ink Delta versus West Coast. I think West Coast has a lot of potential, and so does Ink Delta, and it'll be interesting to see how these two teams stack up against each other. They all have a lot of new players, a little bit of old players combined.
Last tournament, West Coast beat OTB in round 1. It was SCL 17, but of course Kirito wasn't playing. It was working. But yeah, my teammates told me that they're a really good team. My team told me that they're a really good team. They're really solid. Nobody has ever heard of them though. I haven't heard of them like before.
Well,
yesterday.
it's the team with Perks who used to be on Cyber Bullies.
Yeah.
So there is like a really good player who's kind of known with on that team. I feel like Kirito, there's a pattern to OTB. Are you trying to say that you bring OTB to greatness? Are you saying that you're the messiah OTB needs to compete?
Do you want to see some of my screens?
Are you trying to say that Black Belly Blinks shouldn't be an A because they don't have your presence on the team?
No, they have my fellow Disciple, which is the young talkworm. Like, watch out for that guy. Shout outs to him.
Is he as young as you or?
Nah, he's a bit older, but that's fine.
All right, so that's everything for B division, guys. I hope you're really excited. That's probably my division to look out for. I really like looking at those kind of mid-tier teams and seeing who kind of breaks out of those divisions and like heads up into the tournament. Really interesting. So now we have some Crack On. Now, Crack On is one of those divisions that's really hard to tell who's going to do incredibly well because it's kind of like there are a couple of teams who didn't really make the B cut but are really good, and then we have some teams that we really just don't know about. So we have 6 divisions. We have a ton. I don't know if I'm going to go through it as much as we did with the other 3 divisions since it's a little bit less known, but I just like to know your guys' thought if there's any team that you see within this division that could probably move up.
Yeah, I think DAG team wasn't DAG team in A division last season.
Yeah, DEG was in A division, but they kind of changed around the roster a lot, and then swapped out a couple of players, and they did really poorly within S division. So we kind of dropped them down. Well, not S division, A division at the time. So we kind of dropped them down a couple of leagues.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
So DEG is definitely that team to look out for. They might do incredibly well. We'll have to see when the roster comes around. If I have any team personally that I want to look out for, it's probably Haley's Comet. Haley's Comet was a team that we personally played in Oceanic Offensive, and while we did win, I felt like there was a lot of potential in them to move up to a B division team if they just keep working at it. Really nice players, really friendly to play with. The games were really quick and fun. Definitely a team I'm looking out for. Also Black Squid Inkburger, who's also in the same division. We've also played against them, and I felt like they were really, really strong. They just fell short right near the ends of all their tournament runs, but they have the potential to beat teams. Another team that I'd like to look out for would be Distinction. We were looking at Distinction, and their head-to-head matchups, they managed to take games off of people like SRL. It's like Speed Runs Live, not Squid Runs Live. If that says anything about C Division, it means that they're definitely a team that you should look out for and keep on the lookout. How about you, Hermes?
Yeah, I'm just going through it. I've got some good friends on Deep Blues that I played with here and there. I know their team. They are stacked. They have some people left over from 3HP who did pretty well in the last season in C Division, and I believe it's some old Dynamite members as well. So they got a nice team going for them. I feel like they're gonna. I If there's one team, team that I think can take that Group F, it's going to be them. And then I have a soft spot for Circle Jerks because I know their leader pretty well. We're pretty close buds. We chill from time to time, talking about gear before the beautiful gear hacking happened. And then also Team North Star. I see them in quads from time to time, and they do pretty well in tournaments here and there. I want to see how they can do in LUTI and really burst through and make a really strong name for themselves. And then you have Killer Whales, who are coming down from B Division last season. I don't know exactly what's happened with their roster or what's going on, but I do remember they did pretty. They're not a bad team at all. They're still pretty good, so I'm interested to see how they do.
Yeah. Any remarks from Demios and Blake on how they feel?
For B division?
Yeah. C division. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. See, ooh, I haven't been paying much attention to these teams yet.
That's what makes it so interesting.
That's why
I
you're
mean-
in Lemam team.
Yeah, you know, I can't really point out like any one team that I really know that I don't think would be like a really standout team.
Okay. Let's bring you back one
So-
division. Who do you think is a contender in B division?
Okay. So, sports in Europe, yeah. We've gone against them a lot of times, and they used to be C division last season, which they kind of plowed through as well. But they're actually really good, and they've gotten much better since then. They've actually beat us a couple. Well, not they beat us in one tourney, yeah. And so I really think they have what it takes to get to A division next season.
Interesting choice. What about you, Blake? How do you feel about B division?
Oh, 1 second. I have to go back then.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just giving out like over 300 roles in the server right now. I'm kind of out of it.
Let's see. Yeah, I think I just kind of second what you were saying about modern day. I think they're going to have a very strong showing, not just in their group, but in the B division overall.
Yeah, that definitely. I mean, I'd like to say cute, but I don't want to be biased too much about that. But
Right.
I mean, we're pretty awesome. I mean, we're just cute guys, just doing cute things. I mean, what can we say? So,
By the way, if we want to be unbiased, I'm gonna give a shout out to On to Bounce, which is our third team. And actually, we screamed them like last night, and they won versus our first lineup. So they won 5-4 in a best of 9.
oh wow,
So
and
they're really good.
On to Bounce
You
is
gotta
in
watch out
C
for them.
division, so
Yes.
be very interesting. So yeah, so that's all the divisions. Actually, we do have one last division, and we'd like to make a special announcement for it. We kind of have been secretive about it a little bit, just because it's we were kind of figuring out what to do with it because it has an odd number of players. We couldn't figure out a way where we wouldn't have someone not play a match, so we decided to go with a completely new set because it's all new players. They're all new teams. So we're actually going to be doing Scallop as a Swiss bracket. So that means every week you play a different member and it evens out until we get the top half of the players who finish, let's say, 8-0 or 7-1, and then we'll make a playoff based off of that. It's kind of something new we're experimenting with. Unfortunately, it means that for the people who are in Z division or Scallop division, they do not get a week off. You will lose a game if you cannot play, unfortunately. but if you are already incredibly good and you miss a match, the 7-1 should even out. Just some heads up for everyone who's in Z Division. We're going to give you some more information on the news feed. Also on the website, we're going to update the rules for it. It was kind of a more recent change to try and accommodate everyone and really try and find the best people to move up into C or to B Division, depending on how well they do. So yeah, that was a big change, and we're hoping that it works out and everyone's okay with it. So now that we're kind of done with that on the way, I'm not really going to talk about Z Division because it's all new teams. We can't really give you an expectation of who we think's going to do well. So I'm just excited to see how that's going to turn out and who comes out from that division. Right now, we're just going to switch it over a little bit. We're going to make it a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more fun, a little bit less about competitive. We're going to talk about Sheldon's Picks Volume 2. We're going to talk about what everyone feels about them. We're going to go into a little bit of if they're competitively viable, how people feel, whether they got bodied or not, just the standard day in Splatoon. So I'm going to switch over here. So we're going to start off with the Volume 2 pick, and we're going to start off with the Splooshomatic 7. Yeah, what?
I have to pick it up in the practice room. 1 sec. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Here. I'm going to link you. Here you go.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have the Splooshomatic 7 with Splat Bomb and Inkzuka. So I'm just going to be completely honest here. I haven't actually really played with any of these weapons except for the Arrow Spray with Burst Bomb and Kraken. But I've played against them, and I've had my teammates experience. And Leo, who's on my team, thinks the Splooshomatic 7 is the most broken weapon in the game, and I think he's an idiot for it. So tell me what you guys think about this weapon.
Well, the big thing about the new Sploosh is it finally has a bomb. The thing that all Sploosh mains have been asking, that a lot of Sploosh mains have been asking for, and man, does it use it well. The Splat Bomb is one of the best bombs used for spacing or for kind of getting people out of corners, and with the Sploosh, you just kill them before they can even get a single bullet to hit you. And then the Zuka is just in case you do need to hit someone from a long distance. You just pop out the Zuka and you can get some kills on the sniper and whatnot. It's such a good weapon for flanking. It's a great improvement on the current models, and I'm really excited to see how it plays in LUTI this season.
Wow, what a political answer. Let's be real here, okay? Splat Bomb, Inkzuka. There's no Kraken. Terrible weapon. It's like a 1 on 10. You can't even use it on tower control. How are you going to stack invincibility specials to win the game?
Say, just an advice: don't use it. Use the regular Sploosh or whatever, the Neo Sploosh. What's his name?
Guys, the regular Sploosh has a Kraken. It's obviously the better weapon. Always. That's how it works.
I thought the regular Sploosh had
the Neo.
Beacon's
Whatever.
Whale. It's the Neo.
I mean, it's the Neo, exactly. It's like Neo from the Matrix. He's overpowered.
Yeah, like
he's number
like
one.
Neo
Too
Luna.
OP.
Neo Luna, like all these Neo's weapons.
No, in all honesty, how do you guys feel about the weapons? Have you guys played with it at all? Do you think it's going to be used in competitive in any way? I know that Leo is definitely going to try and whip it out in one of our matches, and we're all going to shake our heads, and he's going to be like, "What, guys? It's the best weapon in the game." So I'd like to hear everyone else's thoughts on it.
Personally, I don't like this weapon much. Because, like, I think that the Sploosh was good, like, with Kraken and point sensors. Like, it did its job, in my opinion. But, like, a bomb, I can see a bomb being helpful for traps, for, like, spacing out. But I don't know why you would want to space out people with Sploosh, but
Well, I
don't know.
I think the reasoning was just so that it could give some long range thing. Like, it wasn't just used for close range. There could be some utility going on a bit long range. But I think the whole point, in my opinion, of a Sploosh is that you're gonna be up like right behind some guy, like right up his bum. You know what I'm saying? So, like the chances that you're gonna use that Splat Bomb Inkzuka, like the only way I see it is like it's a good alternative for people who want to use the Sploosh for a little bit more ink coverage than what the Tentatek would offer, a little bit faster charge up rate for the Inkzuka. than what the tent would offer. But overall, I think the tent attack is still a better choice than what you would get with the Sploosh-O-Matic. So does anyone have any more thoughts on that weapon? If not, we're gonna switch to literally the best weapon in the entire game.
The new arrow spray.
Yeah, who's
Weapon
ready?
that I don't.
Go
Weapon
ahead.
that I don't have. Weapon that I don't have because I haven't finished the story mode, so I cannot lock it. But hey,
Okay, let's be real here, guys. Aerospray PG is the death of competitive Splatoon. It's literally the most broken weapon. I mean, name me a weapon that does anything better than it does. It has burst bombs. You get some bomb range up. You know, you throw that thing
Almost.
across a wind. You throw that thing across like more towers. It's a sniper rifle. Sniper rifle with burst bombs. Okay,
not
you have a Kraken for that invincibility special, right? Like, and then you have that insane ink coverage. Like, you don't even need to aim, guys. You just throw burst bombs everywhere and just cover ink with the arrow spray. Literally unbeatable weapon. I mean, thoughts? This is Nintendo balancing the game perfectly, in my opinion.
Well, okay, first of all, you got one thing wrong. Because the Aerospray RG is obviously better. It's the better weapon. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Other than that, I have nothing else to say.
well, I'd have to agree with that. Me right there. Like on Splat Zones and on Tower, it's like overall it's the best weapon in the game, because like on Splat Zones you can have that Ink Strike. On Tower you have that Ink Mine. Whew, like best weapon confirmed.
Ink Mine is definitely overpowered in this game. I mean, I mean, when you place another one, it doesn't even explode, just for that convenience to make sure that they know it's not there. It's fantastic.
yeah, and let's be realistic. They did exactly like what they did with the splatter shot, where they took a great weapon that everyone loves. Like, who doesn't love a good arrow spray? Seriously, I mean, let's be honest. Like, 100% honesty, we were all Aerospray mains at one point. We all played it at one point.
Yep.
Like, we've moved on. We might have moved on from there, but we've all started with an Aerospray.
I feel like
they really they made it another amazing kit to do exactly what an Aerospray does, which is spray ink.
But I feel like they made it as like a nostalgia factor, or like everyone stopped playing Aerospray competitively, so they took out this weapon. Like, guys, they'll touch it again. I promise. We put a Kraken on it. They'll
Exactly.
touch this weapon again. And then to all those people who are Aerospray mains, like A-, they're just like, guys, I see all these people on Squidwards posting they want a team. They're A-. Now they have a Kraken. They're definitely gonna make S+. Nintendo's cry to make all the Aerospray mains good. So we're gonna switch over. Sorry?
They gotta help everyone, not only the S players, like all the A's too. Like they gotta help everyone.
Yeah.
So we're gonna switch over to the NZAP 83, which is actually a weapon that
special?
I think is gonna be really good. It's actually gonna be competitively viable, in my opinion. Probably one of the most out of all the weapons in this game. Like, I think you're gonna see a lot more use of this weapon, probably on TC Rainmaker, than you would maybe a Tent Attack. You might see this swapped out a little bit more. What do you guys think?
Well, I think Tudos's love for this weapon has being one of the top players in S Division confirms that this is going to be a good weapon.
Yeah, it covers ink a lot better than let's say the Tent Attack would. A lot faster fire rate. It comes with that Kraken, for that invincibility special that's so important on TC and a little bit on Rainmaker. And it comes with that point sensor, just so you can help your sniper out to get that auto aim, that aimbot working. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, I think it's a really solid kit, especially with teams. What does everyone else feel about this weapon?
Well, when we saw the NZAP, everyone thought about what's gonna be better, NZAP or the Neo Sploosh. Like, I think that's everyone's thought about it because they have the same kit. They're pretty much the same playstyle. I think NZAP is a bit more defensive, though, of a playstyle because like you have more range and you don't have to be in people's face to kill them.
Yeah.
and you cover much more ground with the NZAP.
Another thing that people don't that take for granted is that it also removes a lot of the attack up that you need, what you would need on a 10 to tech if someone's stacking defense. So you can start stacking a lot more of different combinations of gear if you want.
Like, for instance, a really good one, just stack solely mobility gear on it. You're going to be the fastest strafer on the map, one of the fastest at swimming in the ink. Like, even like if you decide to pick up the Rainmaker, you have the kit to carry the Rainmaker. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so any last thoughts on this weapon before we go to the next one? All right, I'll take that as we're going to the next one. So,
The GRB.
So guys, the Grim Range Blaster. I don't know why it's called the Grim Range Blaster, but all I can say about this is whatever. Like, who cares about this kit? Dude, you just play this weapon because look at the flames, the neon green flames. Guys, I'm going to zoom in on this. Look at oh my god, it's so
Wait,
beautiful.
It shoots faster.
Let me grab the stream 1 second.
Oh my god, it's beautiful, guys. It's like the green flames just makes it like it's competitively viable just because it's got so much freshness on this thing. Look at it. Look at it.
Seriously.
Oh my god. It's
Man,
beautiful.
That's the ugliest weapon in the game.
Oh my god, Demi. How can you even?
If I had powers, I would have kicked you from the car. Just
I'm a custom range blaster main, and I think that looks awful. Like, come on, man. It looks like an edgy 5-year-old designed it.
Exactly. I love things that are made by edgy 5-year-olds. They're like my favorite.
Is everyone gonna ignore what Kirito just said?
What did he just say?
Oh my god.
Anyways,
Let's just move on.
so what do you guys think about this weapon? Overall, I think it's a pretty nice addition. It just gives more versatility to a custom range blaster. You get a killer whale. I can see it being
What
used
do you think?
nichely on certain maps. I see it being used a lot right now because it's like the new weapon, but I think in the future it's going to change a little bit. I don't know what you guys think.
What did you say, guys? That my Discord died for 2 seconds, like after you asked me what I said. So
Of course
what
it
did you
did.
say?
Yeah, of course it died. Of course it died.
Wow.
We-
Okay.
We were just saying, what do you think about the Grim Range Blaster other than its edginess?
I don't know. I think it's a really good weapon. Like really, really good. Because like we all know that burst cancel is like one of the best things in the game, Kappa. But like it's gonna be a weapon like that is, you know, we all know that custom range and like all the other blasters except Luna and the rapid blaster are a slow weapon. But like the burst bomb is gonna be like something that makes it faster, in my opinion. So like you gotta be aware of that now.
I never thought of
Yeah.
that before. That's a good point.
Yeah, they did the same thing with the Boozler Mach 3 in the first pack. They just gave a weapon that had a slightly slower time to kill than what you would hope, but not at all a bad weapon to begin with, and then just made the time to kill possibly even faster, which is so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I just like the style. I think it's full of swag. But I mean, like you guys all completely disagree with me. That's fine. But we all know I'm the right one.
We
on
all
this
know.
one.
We all know that like Cryptic is the best blaster here. We have bots showing that.
for anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually the worst blaster ever. All I know how to do in this game is snipe. Literally snipe. I cannot do anything else in this game. I'm terrible. So, I can look at this from an analytical perspective, but playing it, let's just say, I'm probably like a C rank on all these weapons, but like I'm an S plus god charger, you know? So,
God. The
God Charger.
also known as
God
the
Charger.
young Jesus.
so yeah, dude, I used to have an IGN as a young Jesus, but, so by the way, for anyone who didn't know, just so everyone's aware, Kirito is actually a Luna Blaster main. Hermes is a snipe, but does play some other weapons. Demios is a custom range blaster main, and Blake is my team's resident Splatling main. So we'll see that. Cryptic, I'm a great Wasabi, by the way. So we're
I
gonna
mean,
go
who isn't
into
Bobby, though.
we're gonna go into SRL's favorite weapon of all time, the Cherry H3 nozzle nose. What do you guys think about this weapon, guys?
Well, first of all, it's a unique kit. No weapon has the same kit, so it might be used just for that. Well, like throwing a good kit on a bad weapon doesn't help really, in my opinion. Like the weapon, the way it shoots is bad, but like I don't know, some people may find a way to make it work. Like I saw Rocket from S&D using it a lot, dude getting like huge KDs with the Cherry H3.
Yeah,
But
I
I don't know.
know.
I don't know how they do it, and to be honest,
Well, I
I
mean,
could never do it.
like I see in the chat, we do have Donut Despair, the Resident H3, L3, just lover of these weapons, saying that it's amazing. I've also seen a lot of people on SRL use successfully with it. I definitely see this going into competitive play a lot. A lot of people are saying that it's replacing the 96 gal in terms of it. I wouldn't go that far, but I think the Bubbler is like probably the best special in the game. It's why it's not
Yeah.
used on so many weapons.
And it's light depletion, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's broken.
So
Just charge that bubble.
So yeah, basically this weapon is just like really good. If you're good at aiming with this weapon, it's really strong. The problem is that most people are really bad at aiming this weapon. If we're gonna be realistic, like we tried to get CA or Alice to play this weapon, and he tried it for 2 seconds and went, "Wow, this weapon sucks, guys." Just stopped. He's like, "It's not fun." So you know what I mean? It's to each their own, but I definitely think if someone plays this in a comp, like you can't go wrong in any mode. I think Bubbler in zones overall is just incredibly amazing. I think it's such an underrated weapon. I call a Bubbler a weapon because it's a weapon on its own. People only use the Junior just to charge Bubble. They don't use it for anything else. So yeah, anything with a Bubbler is really, really strong. So just this with a Splash Wall for defense, I think it's a great weapon. It's probably the best weapon out of all of these ones on the kit, other than maybe the NZAP. I think the NZAP is a nice improvement. Like I said, though, Leo's going to disagree with me and tell me that the Splooshomatic is the best weapon in this kit, but he's wrong. So, yeah. So let's go right into the Koro Splat Roller. What you guys think about
the
this?
wall on the roller. The wall on the
Yeah,
roller.
the wall on the roller, because you know
It's-
when you want to be offensive and cover that ink, you plant a wall.
Yeah,
It's an interesting idea. I haven't seen as much play with it yet.
interesting to say the least.
I feel like it could be utilized well, but it's just such an interesting combination that I don't really have much to say besides that. Anyone who wants to bust this out in a LUTI match while I'm commentating, please do so. I want to see what you guys can do with it.
So I think Blake has a little bit of insight as to how it's used, right?
Or at least the way that I found it most annoyingly used. The way that I've seen it, and it kind of breaks the meta surrounding the splash wall, is instead of using the wall defensively, the ones I've seen really use this weapon well are the ones who use the wall offensively, which seems a bit counterintuitive, but what's always screwed me over the worst when facing this weapon is I'll get an engagement, they'll throw the wall behind me, and while it's setting up, they'll prepare the flick, and I can't escape. Usually just running backwards to get out of the range of the flick and just run into a wall, or the wall will come crashing down on me and that'll execute me in and of itself. And it's just been something to get used to, if nothing else.
I mean, personally speaking, I think it's interesting. I feel like Nintendo just kind of like had a bunch of weapons and like specials and subs like on a dartboard, and they just kind of like threw some darts, and they were like, they were just like, yeah, Splash Wall, Inkzuka, Roller. Oh my God, perfect! And they just like went with it. And they're just like, let's just see how it happens. Let's see how people do it. And it's chaotic. It's just, it's all over the place. I don't even know how I feel about this weapon. It's just like, I see someone using a Karo, and I go, you could just be using like a crack-on roller, but then they still kill me. So, I mean, I can't really judge them, right?
pretty much.
Yeah, so I feel like that's all we have to say about the Koro Koro. Not too much, but now we're gonna get into everyone's favorite interesting weapon, the thing that everyone feared in life, a charger with a splash wall.
You
The
see, I personally feel like this is the best weapon in the loadout, not because of not really. Splash Wall and Charger is quite nice, but I feel like giving the Chargers a second option for Echo is huge, because now there's two very very viable long range sniper weapons that have an Echo, which is going to make those aimbot 20xx. That's just going to happen way more often now.
Actually, I kind of agree with you. I think it's a nice change up. And also kind of, I don't want to say broken because it's not, but it's like, it's very weird because how snipers used to do it was that if you went to go for Echo, which you would do normally on zones, you would pick the E-liter, but now you have the option to pick the bento with a wall to support your teammate with a little bit less range, right? So on some shorter range weapons, the Echo, like the bento, just completely replaces the E-liter in that way because burst bombs aren't really that effective anymore. I haven't tried the bento yet. I've been still sticking with my E-liter crutch, but I definitely think that it's a very strong weapon on specific maps, but I still think overall the custom E-liter is king in terms of sniper rifles.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Just, yeah, from the sniper's perspective, it really is, the E-liter just outranges everyone. I still think the vanilla E-liter is going to have its niches here and there, but yeah, the bento is going to take a bit of its reign away even after the custom E-liter took it a little while ago.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try toying around with the splat charger. I mean, I usually suck with those weapons. I love the rhythm of the E-liter, like that slow pace and just like charging up, and like it's like a zen moment. It's like a rhythm, you know. It's like a beautiful song being played is what the E-liter is, and the echolocator is like taking cocaine while you're listening to classical music. So it's not that great. So
Can you give me like your drug seller phone number?
but yeah, I don't know. I just me personally, I'm not a huge fan of splat chargers, but I definitely am interested in trying it. But yeah, I can definitely see the value in this weapon, like the huge value in this weapon.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anyone wants to just add to any remarks to this weapon before we go to Blake's favorite weapon of this whole kit.
My only remark is, it pretty much goes without saying, is that with that splash wall, anywhere becomes a perch for our charger, which creates a lot of opportunities for unique spots, which make it more difficult for picking people out, because you can go to those unconventional spots where you'd be a bit more exposed, throw it on a wall, and you'd be safe.
Yeah. Does anyone actually know how many shots you can take after the wall by any chance?
I'm gonna try it out now if you want.
Yeah, just how many shots can you take after a wall? We'll go
I
on to
think
the next
it's-
weapon, but
I think it's
two-
3 or 2.
No, it's two and a half.
wow,
like,
that's real good. I thought it would only be one shot, but 2 is really
Yeah, no.
strong.
Yeah, I think the reason why I thought 3 was because I do stack a lot of. Personally, when I tried this out, I just stacked Ink Management, Subsaver, and Inksaver main, and it just stacking that works so nice on the weapon because you can throw out your wall and have like 3 good full shots afterwards.
Yeah. Albino actually just told me, he says, yeah, but then you have the Echo, which insta refills after throwing your wall, which is another good point. Man, this weapon's
While
really
highlighting
strong.
everyone.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but the strategy with this weapon is really good. I might have to try it out maybe tonight. We'll have to see about that. It's kind of got me interested. Thank you, Albino. So we're going to switch over to the Heavy Splatling remix, which looks super sexy. Not going to lie, that purple and pink is just... it's so fresh, and we all know the whole point of this game is just to look fresh. Like, no one actually cares about the game.
Yeah,
It's just about looking
after
good.
gear hacks, it's just about looking good.
It's all about looking good, man. That ball wool hat, oh my god. But yeah, how do you feel about this? Sprinkler Killer Whale, it's another variant. I don't know if it's like the strongest, let's say, but I don't know. Is there like a niche use for it? Is there something good about it? Blake, give us some insight on this weapon.
The most broken part about this is the sprinkler on a heavy. It's just ridiculous, and I love every second of it. Heavies in general do not have an issue building special. Your ink coverage is absurd. You're able to build it up like nobody's business. Throwing a sprinkler on it just allows you to throw something down, move to a new location, and then ink up more. You can keep doing killer whales for days and days with this, which, in the ability to build up specials, is something that's a bit less fun whenever you have either an ink strike or a kraken. You either want to hold on to those, use those a bit more strategically, whereas a whale, that's a lot of area that you can influence. You can use that with as fast as you can build them constantly, just laying down killer whales one after another, which is just, I've had a load of fun using it. As far as maps and modes to use it best on, definitely zones has been preferred for me, just because you can lay down that sprinkler, especially in split zones, lay down a sprinkler in one zone and then move to the next zone and start laying down coverage, and you can really start affecting a very wide area of the map almost single-handedly.
Pretty good, actually. Does anyone have any more to add about the splat lane? I know none of us really play splat lanes, but if anyone wants to
I have
add
a question
anything.
for Blake.
Sure.
Would you rather use the heavy deco or this one in Rainmaker?
I like using the deco in most Rainmakers, just because having the crack on for the Rainmaker to burst it. But that doesn't exclude this one, especially ones where a Kraken isn't necessarily favored. Things like Hammerhead Bridge would probably favor
Port
this
Mac.
variant a lot. Yeah, Port Mac would favor this a lot more than having a Kraken.
Yeah. One thing I would like to say about it is that you now have another top tier ink coverage weapon also having a sprinkler. So like you see silver dynamos all the time in zones because, sprinkler, flick, you can cap all of Mahi's enormous zone with a dynamo. I think the heavy Splatling remix can do the same thing easily, and it's gonna create new dynamics and team compositions that are gonna be a lot of fun to see.
So
I can see you guys on Cute running the double sprinkler cancer comp on Mahi zones.
We've done it.
I mean, if we know anything, Vera is definitely all about that sprinkler strats. Before he was even on Cute, he killed me with sprinklers multiple times, and I was just embarrassed. So definitely running it 2 times.
Cryptic Spoon fraud confirmed.
So overall, what's everyone's favorite weapon out of all these? I know Blake is probably going to say the heavy Splatling remix.
Out of all of this, as a blaster main, I'd have to say the Grim Range Blast.
Demi, your pick?
Right, so I mean, obviously it's gonna be the Aerospray PG. I mean, what else? It's OP.
I agree.
It breaks every weapon in the game.
I mean, if I had to pick my favorite weapons, I just like the Aerospray PG just because, yo, man, Aerospray with Kraken, it was like my dream, in August.
This Aerospray is lit.
yeah, dude, I just love it. But I probably would go with the Bento because it's something that I'm definitely gonna play around with a lot compared to the other ones. I really do like the Cherry, but I don't think I'll use it. I think Bento is something I'll use for sure. Yeah. And what about you, Hermes?
Obviously, as a sniper main, the Bento is a lot of fun, but I'm really interested in just watching the Cherry H3. Rocket yesterday in the money match with against Slimy and Last Hope. Oh my gosh, when he went H3, he was going off in a few of them. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool to watch Rocket play the H3. He's definitely probably gonna be one of the people that pioneer along with SRL. I feel like SRL always is one of those teams to jump on the new weapons really quickly and try them out, especially in competitive compared to other teams. So definitely interested to see how these new weapons fare within the coming tournaments, especially in the LUTI season. So yeah, now that wraps up pretty much everything we wanted to talk about, at least for the first episode 0 of LUTI. So if anyone wants, we're gonna open it up for maybe a question or two before we close out. So if anyone has any questions in chat, we'll definitely try to answer them. If there are no questions, then we'll just call it a night. So we'll give it a minute or two, and we'll see what kind of questions people come up with. So while we're doing that, anyone want to say anything about their team? Anyone want to plug something?
I want to give a shout out to my teammate Squiddy because he wanted to. He's a nice commentator. Please be sure to watch the matches that he will cast because his voice is beautiful. Just that.
All right, so Tudos does have a question, Blake. He wants to know what your thoughts are on the Remy, the refurbished Mini. I know what you're gonna say, but I'll let you do it.
I love the Remy. I am one of those dirty heathen who appreciate it for what it is. I also play it a bit differently than I've seen others play it, and I think its purpose fits in a bit more like a stealth assassin kind of role. You have a lot of ability to ink quickly, and with the new blast radius on burst bombs, you take a bit for the damage, but you're able to really cover ground quickly. So it's really great for digging deep into enemy ink and getting behind flank lines a lot faster than some other weapons can.
Yeah, on top of it all, personally speaking, it's my favorite looking weapon in the entire game. I think the orange and the white is just amazing.
Grip, do you pick weapons just for how they look?
I mean, if in a realistic world, yes, I probably would just pick weapons based on how they look. I mean, I was really hoping for a really sexy E-liter, but it never happened. It made me really mad.
Gold-plated E-liter.
Dude, a gold-plated E-liter? Oh my god, that'd be so amazing.
Gold?
Oh, dude, I don't even care. The weapon could have the worst. It could have literally no sub and no special. I'd be like, it's the best weapon in the game, guys.
I would still use it too.
Lime green E-liter? Oh my god. Don't even get me started, dude.
Alright,
what about
a matte black?
Yeah, so just to answer a couple of questions before we continue with some more. So how much longer until we get a word about Scalec Division? We're going to try and work out the specifics a little bit more. You should get some more information easily before the actual season starts, which is a little bit later. Monday. It starts on Monday, so you will get an answer for sure. What would the kit be for gold E-liter? It doesn't matter. It's just going to be an E-liter with nothing on it because it's the best weapon in the game just because it's gold.
It's going to be gorgeous.
So the next question is, was there a weapon you were hoping for in Volume 2?
Well, honestly... Oh, okay, you go ahead first.
No, I talk. Okay. The
The
weapon.
youngest goes first.
The weapon that everyone was waiting for. It's the new Luna Deco with Disruptors and Kraken butt.
No thanks, man.
Yeah, everyone was waiting for it, dude.
But alas, we won't get it.
I was probably waiting.
That's too bad, isn't it?
I wanted another E-liter variant. I don't really know what. To be honest, like I said, I just really wanted something with a different color. I just wanted something that looked really cool. All the splatlines, they added 4 splatlines. All of them has these cool shit colors and tags and stuff like that. Yeah, your squid's so fresh with this splatling. It's got this cool animation when you hug it. What does an E-liter have? It's the shittiest animation. It's some shit colors of silver. Guys, it's terrible. I mean, let's be real here. They need a new color for it.
Do you want to hug this long E-liter though?
Yeah, man, I'd love it. It'd be great.
He would caress it and grasp it firmly.
Oh, I don't know if we're talking about the same E-liter anymore.
Hermes, what kind of weapon would you want?
I mean, I'm with you. E-liter main wants another E-liter. I would love to have a little more variation in the kits that I can pick from, but going outside of the E-liters, I would have been really interested in another regular blaster, not just a range blaster, because I feel like the kits that the regular blaster has they're pretty decent, but not amazing, and they could really give it an improved kit, and it would be and it would be even more viable than the weapons already are, because the custom blaster, you see Boo rock it all the time. He does wonders with that weapon.
Yeah. And Blake, what do you any weapon you wish you had, or did you get everything you asked for with like the bazillion Hydra splat lanes and splat lanes that they gave you?
The only thing that I'd really hope for would have been a heavy with beacons.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Wow, that's interesting.
Like I was really trying to pull for a beacon whale with this variation. I'm perfectly happy with the sprinkler, but I think beacons would really make a great heavy.
That is pretty interesting, actually. So we have one more question. Do you think there will be maps announced at E3, or new maps will be fixed like Salt Spray? Because if anyone doesn't know, there's been speculation that they're announcing something. Nintendo's announcing something probably on Tuesday, because there's a patch just before E3. So people are speculating that there might be some new updates for Splatoon. So what do you guys think? Do you think there'll be something announced at E3?
I hope so, actually.
Probably not, to be honest.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I want to believe.
I want to believe in Volume 3.
We're still getting the amiibos.
Yeah, my
But
money
yeah.
is on that they're just going to show off the Callie Marie amiibos. I don't think you're going to get any content. I think if we do, it'll be very mild. Like, here's a costume pack, which is still amazing. Like, if we got a costume pack, it'd make my E3. Or like a new E-liter, maybe.
An E3 leader.
But yeah, I just don't see it likely. They said that we had everything. They've given us a ton of free content. Like the only way that they continue giving us more content is if they want us to like have more retention for when the NX comes out, so we continue with the Wii U. But I just don't see them spending more money. Like, and Nintendo has basically said the Wii U is like dead. Like they're not putting anything onto it. There's like no games coming out. So why would they add more DLC? So we'll see. I'm optimistically pessimistic.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying. By the way, there was a question from Citrus that asked,
Oh
"Why
my
is
God.
Spoon's cat so damn R?" Can you answer that?
My
please?
cat is thick because we feed him and he's cute. That's my answer. So,
Wow.
okay, serious question. Would any of you rock a slosher hat, like in real life or in the game?
In the game, yeah. I mean, who doesn't wear the funny hats that you get in Street Pass on the 3DS? But IRL, ooh, that would be a tough one.
I mean,
I probably would,
So
just
you
because I
mean-
love the game.
You mean like, don't use a slosher and put it on your ad? Like that?
I
basically.
guess I'm not sure. So no, I'm definitely gonna say I have a better question. Would anyone wear a jungle hat in real life?
No.
Well,
No.
Are you sure? I mean, you get all the ladies. I'm just saying that right now.
And I mean, you got that ink management, though.
I already do that. I already do that. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we're gonna
jungle.
we're gonna wrap it up. One more. We're gonna wrap it up. We're just gonna maybe see if we could grab one more question, and then and then we'll wrap it up. We'll take everyone's Twitter handles, say where we can find you, and then that's it. So let's just wait like 30 seconds and. When's the next game with Crypt? I am not sure. I'll let you know on my own Twitter plug. Twitter.com/CrypticSpoon. Everyone should follow me. And also follow my team, cute_Splatoon. And then I'll plug myself again afterwards, so don't worry about it.
Fabs has a question for you. Kirito.
Where? I don't see it.
I don't know.
Oh,
He's
okay. I have a
preparing it.
question. Tell me.
So, Fabs, as the final
What does
question, I
it
think it's a
take
great
to be such
question.
a Don?
Yeah, what does it take to be such a Don, Kirito? How do you become the Don of Splatoon?
Yeah, guys, like I don't know. I always been a Don. Like since when I was born, like my mom gave me my name, which is Marco, if you didn't know. But like my second name was the Don himself,
Oh,
like
oh boy.
incarnated Jesus. No, if you don't know, you might have heard of me like in the Bible. Shout out to my mom, Mary.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't know really. I don't know how to answer that question because like
He's
that's my
been the
mom
Dawn
though.
since the
you're born
dawn of
with
his
it.
life.
Yeah, ever since like I don't know.
All right. I think we'll wrap it
Yeah.
up now, guys. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the first episode 0 of Late Night Ludi podcast. Like I said, we're gonna try and make this a weekly thing every Sunday. We're gonna get different guests on every week, maybe even a different host. It might not always be me. We're gonna talk about different topics. We're gonna have the special guest will bring up a specific topic to bring up to the rest of the Peep panel. Gonna make it a little bit more interactive.
Even though everyone wants Credo.
We're gonna try and make it so that people know who's in the community and see the players and see that we're all kind of cool guys and we all like just hanging around and having a good time. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let's give some plugs to everyone. So Hermes, where can we find you?
You can find me at Hermes_the_nerd at Twitter. Follow me. I'm pretty cool about following back. I like a lot of people in the community, the little guys, the big guys, everyone. Also, follow my team. We put a Twitter up like a little over a week ago at OG_Splatoon, original Galere. The Twitter page is pretty new. We only have like 30 followers maybe, but we are a new team. We're up and coming and hoping to do well in Rockenberg division. And then of course I stream scrims from time to time and just random squads at twitch.tv/Hermes the Nerd, one word. If you couldn't tell, I am a nerd. So yeah.
We kind of know this after all these links, but
And how about you, Kirito?
you can find me on Twitter at KiritoPro_ or on YouTube. I'm just Kirito OTB in brackets. And yeah, I upload videos every now and then, only the matches, of course. And that's it, pretty much. You can see me going like 12,000 in all of my matches.
Can confirm.
There's that.
And
But yeah,
great.
that's it.
So how about you, Demi? How can we find you? What do you do in the community?
I mean, pretty much I just shitpost on Twitter. So like, I mean, if you're into that, then sure, you can follow me. It's Demios_. So yeah, I really don't have much else to say.
He's also the guy who made these beautiful overlays. Very talented designer. So anyone looking to hire him, you can go ahead. And
Oh, okay.
and then we have Blake. Just to introduce yourself, plug your Twitter.
Yep. So Twitter's at BlackSwordD2. Same thing for YouTube as well. Similarly, I'll post scrim videos, general shenanigans we get up to, also impromptu scrims for those few times where we'll have our full team doing squads and we meet another full team doing squads. It's just good fun. Usually you'll hear us just being the most vulgar chat around.
Yeah,
It's great.
18 plus guys. It's great, but 18 plus.
Yeah.
And and I'm Cryptic Spoon. I'm your host for today. You can find me at Cryptic Spoon. I have a YouTube that I don't really use. It's Cryptic Spoon, and I also stream on Twitch regularly with Team Cute and with Blake together on twitch.tv/Cryptic Spoon. Like I said, we get up to all sorts of nonsense. We're great fun to have around to watch on stream. But yeah, I'd say 18 plus for that. But yeah. Overall, thanks everyone for
Wow.
joining us, and I hope you have a good night.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Yeah. Later.